Hello, this is Edwin from Think to Win. I'm together with Sonny, and we're gonna do pretty much a discussion about some other things about the game and compare the meta from the Japanese version and the English version. So what we want to do with this channel is just pretty much list up some of our deck profiles and discuss the choices we make and give our opinion about the game state and such. So first of all, let's review the game first. So, what do we think about the game? I think the game is like the nice thing about this game. That's when I first started out, when I was still like a noob. Even though it's like it seems complex at first, but it's very easy to learn and to play. Of course, you still misplay at the beginning, but it's easy to get into. Like I can just grab a trial deck and give it to my friend, and he can easily join the game.
Yeah, but don't get the flashback though, especially when I started out, I also just go to the Dragonic Empire, the Dragonic Overlord one, and the Narukami deck, and we played it with my brother. It took for him a bit longer because he didn't watch the anime beforehand, although after the while he started watching it as well. We learned the game, but luckily the anime helps as well because you just learn the basic stuff, but in order to be good and master your deck, it takes a long time, especially harder decks that are more thinking like the Tsukuyomi deck or even the Dragon Overlord. Yeah. Yeah, with those decks you just can't rush at the beginning, like with Paladins or with Spike Bros or everything.
Yeah. Well, the flash deck, like what you said about the flash deck, like it sucks. Like the deck with the criticals is obviously stronger than the deck without the criticals. Well, I think they both had criticals, right? But the other one had heals, and the other, and I think the royal one. Oh no, they both
No,
had
both of them
draws.
had the same
Oh,
thing.
the same
They
triggers, yeah.
they didn't have heals. None of them
Yeah.
had.
But there were
Heals.
like a 25 card deck, and if you rode grade 3, you could still Twin Drive. So if you get double crit, you, or at least one
Not only that,
critical.
the first one who gets to grade 3, he won, basically.
Yeah, because you start out with the standard starter. Um, Also, like uh, because the game is so easy, it's like it's a pro, but it's also a con because it's a sucky game. Like you have to get lucky at this game. Like sometimes some people don't get any triggers, and then you obviously lose. Even if you have the best field setup possible, if you don't get any triggers, you still lose.
Yeah, but also some basic mathematics. You are not going to attack the 12K magic zero that with 10
Yeah,
or
that's
the
that's
16K column because you just got it for 5 and then you just wait to attack.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like this game isn't all about luck. It takes a bit of skill. Like you can play around stuff. Like for example, you're going to go over the end, but yeah, we'll talk about that card later. But you can play around stuff, so it's not all about luck.
But like more than 50% luck because if you got great zeros in your hand with first 5 cards great zero triggers, then you're fucked. Basically. So
Yeah, that's
honestly,
true.
stack everything.
Yeah, I think it's like it's supposed to be more fun of those casual games that everyone can join because, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh or let's say Magic, they're a lot harder to learn and to get into.
And even the community is not that welcoming, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
those are the pro community. They're like, oh, you don't know, yeah, then fuck you. While this one here, you can just join us everybody friendly. Even at the national that I've had, people were friendly with each other and told each other, good luck and stuff too.
yeah. So that's about the game pretty much. Yeah, like yeah, I just still think it's a nice game, even though it has all its downsides and pros and cons. But it's like
Yeah,
it's a
you
fun
can have
game to play. Like you can complete the game within 15 minutes easily. So that's one of the pros. Like I don't have to take 1 hour matches. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't take 1 hour anymore, but it's still quick. You can just quickly play a game and you can learn. So someone can quickly learn the game anyway. So I think it's a nice game.
although even in Vanguard, some matches can take more than half an hour when you have two fields or both of you get crappy roads like that. It can take a long time.
Yeah, but most of the time, one of you gets some criticals, other one gets some heals. So
Yeah,
it will,
sometimes,
yeah, a lot of
but
times
even
the
like that, if both of you are equally as lucky as the other, then it will take long. And for example, if you have both right and have cross right, and then it can take long because from that point on, it's like a game of chess.
yeah, because I had a few matches where we both were crossfit and I won because he decked out. So
Yeah.
yeah, matches like that also exist. Well, about the cross rides, we're gonna do like meta comparison because everyone was hyping about the cross rides and set 5 and stuff, and it's like valuing Overlord the end for 40, $50, which was crazy, even though it has gone down $10. Um, well, what we think about the cross rides, like while I've been at locals, most of us think the cross rides are pretty much overhyped, especially Majesty Lord Blaster. That one is the most overhyped one with the card being sometimes being more expensive even than Overlord the End, and it is more expensive than Phantom Blast Overlord. Um, especially with the
Especially
new.
the FP Majesty was that I remember at the beginning I saw it for $200 and things like
Yeah,
that.
even though I pulled that card from randomly from one box, but yeah, let's not go about that. Yeah, like the problem with the Majesty Lord Blaster deck in general, it's 12k. Well, let's see what can hit 17, the new magic number for Majesty Lord Blaster. Slagle Dagger and a Pelennor. Draw Trigger and the Gigantic. Uh,
Basically everything if you have a
everything
Majesty.
with an 11k Vanguard and a 7k booster. Or a 6k booster, I mean. And a 7k booster and the 10k. 8k and a 9k. So it's so easy to hit 17k. And even if you can't hit it, they have to -2 at the beginning for to use their OP effect with an extra critical. So yeah, the deck doesn't plus that much, especially compared to things like Gold Paladin or OTT. Only thing annoying about the deck is though is you can hit 20 and 21 so easily. That's like the only annoying thing about that deck.
Unless you're stuck with window break as the support behind the Vanguard. Because that happens sometimes as well because even in matches between us or with other people, sometimes I just beaten the Majesty Lord Bastard in my BT04 Shadow deck, although I tagged in some masquerades now. So those help out, of course, because if I would have been stuck with circumstances, I wouldn't beat anything. But uh, because everything can hit the magic number, and if the opponent just doesn't hit you with the blaster, boosted by the ring roll, then you're stuck with the boost ring roll behind the back wall. And from that point on, your Majesty Lord is for crap unless you minus yourself, and even more by killing your ring roll grave and putting the nade behind it.
Yeah, because you don't want to minus, like, let's say you're 11k Vanguard, I attack with 15, you just block for 10.
Yeah.
Easy block for 10. Cross right, block for 10. So that's like the only problem with just Lord Blaster. Unless you're going first, then you just say eat it because they don't want to block for 10 to want to pass you. But if they block for 15, which is also a good play, it's also possible. So it really depends.
But from that point on, it's risky because you can minus yourself as well, especially if the opponent doesn't get a quick trigger at the blaster base boosted by ring roll.
Yeah, but not only that, like even if he does get the effect off, it's unlikely he has all cards in hand. Like most of the time when I play the game, I don't have Magician Lord Blaster, or I have Magician Lord Blaster and only have one blade that I wrote, so I still need two pieces. So that's yeah, you don't. It's really not that much of a annoyance to you if he gets the effect off. So it's not that OP or powered, but yeah.
It can work when it works. It works really well, but it requires even more skill setup than solo player.
Yeah, because it's 10k. Well, that's about very much about Magician Lord Blaster. Nice thing, another thing, nice addition to RDKs and Toiper goals, but yeah, I mean Toiper goal is very good. Put it behind the K, 19. Put it behind the Pedifer, 21. Oh, awesome. Put it behind Palamedes, 22. Hit your opponent with just Blaster for magic numbers. So yeah, that like the deck around it is good, but the unit itself, it's meh, like -2, 12k, 17k is easy to hit. So Not really that
Don't take it,
amazing.
don't get it wrong. It's a good card, but it's hard to set it up.
Yeah, and even if you do
Not
get it off,
just,
it's not amazing.
yes, in order to properly pressure with it, you need to get the effect of constantly, the soul charging effect that you eat better blade and dark, and like that it's a really big pressure. If you always attack for 30, let's say even a cross guy cannot handle that, but when you cannot get the effect of the top 10k, then it's basically just a top KP ticket. You can hit it.
Yeah, even offer does better then, so it isn't that good. Out of
What is
the
it?
out of the three, like, and the deck itself, because like let's say all the cross rides don't plus that much, but the deck itself is quicker than the other two. So in a way, they it counters the other cross rides. So it's like it loses to all the pluses decks. So that's OTT Coco or OTT Tsukuyomi or maybe Kar- um, Karma not Royal Gold Paladins. So against those decks, it doesn't do that well. But against, for example, all the other cross rides for Dragonic Overlord, the end needs to have a lot of setup at the beginning. And if it and yeah, it takes so long to get all your cards. Like you have to ride Dragonic Overlord, then you have to ride the end. And if your opponent just rushes you to 4 damage, then yeah, and he just uses the effect, he gets the crit, he wins. So that's what's good about that card. Counters the other two.
Yes, but even Overlord and Kagero in general, they usually need a lot of field setup before they can actually do something. You need to get out your Kimnar, your boss monster, and other things like that in order to actually your Salamander, Heat Nails. So like that, it takes a long time for Kagero, takes them until like let's say grade 3 until they can usually pressure the opponent until they are just setting up their field because if you need to hit, you can full charge your Kimnar on the very first turn and hit for like 8 with pages.
Yeah.
So that's Kagero in general because we need to balance the retiring effect. So,
Yeah, but when you do get when he does get it off, you're fucked. So it's like if he does get it off, it's kind of annoying. But
yeah,
most
Overlord
of
the
the
end,
time, yeah, most of the
it's
time I
an
got
end
the
game. Overlord the end is a really good end game card. The finisher card.
yeah. So well, this was pretty much about Majesty Lord Blaster. Let's talk about before we go to Overlord the end because that one is the most hyped out of all of them. Let's talk about Phantom Blaster Overlords. Card in
Yes,
general, like what I would do with that deck is just plus and tank. That's the only thing I would do, and try to hit the opponent.
basically, yes. And wait until the end of on it till you use your pattern of that. But if you just use the counter that for other things, you are not going to miss anything because usually when you get it off, usually when I tested it, I just ran into a perfect shot. Like, oh yeah, I'm hitting 31. Yeah, double damage and yeah, perfect. That's good. Instead of that, you're just better off calling it as a rear guard and then like,
Yeah, like most of the time you want to plus more, and well, you can pressure them, like save those 3 counter blasts open and just troll them every time, but most of the time you don't. You want to use it for either Nemens or Makas or
mainly in Nemens because the good thing with Nemens is just put it down in your facility by even Maka, you can get it off 2 times at best unless you heal or use a curse lancer, but in the current format, when somebody can just jump at you and overload the end, you don't really want to run the curse lancer. Maybe one maximum, but even that is too much in my opinion.
yeah,
Especially because
because
you
yeah,
need to
because you have so many
run
options. Yeah,
especially when you still need to run Blasted Archer. You would have the other starter, the Japanese Ghost, which is the basic like move back and search the top 5 for great league. With that, you would have more freedom because right now we still need to run 4 javelins and the minimum like 1 or 2 Blasted Arts in order to get the Blaster Dragon uh, out when you have to ride normally. Because having the 11K Vanguard is still good. But right now, at least the Nightmare Painters are good. I would definitely they run them at 2 or even at 1, it's okay because you can purchase the Maka. But when you damage check your Makas, then your game plan is
Yeah, you're in for a bad time. Yeah. But Makado and Nemens, like the only weakness of those cards is they're going to overload the end, which is stupid. So it's kind of like a triangle. So Majestic Lord Blaster beats both of the cross rides, but the cross rides like Phantom Blast Overlord is the best deck as a cross ride to play against the quicker decks because you can quickly get your cross ride off with Nightmare Painter, and you plus. So you're kind of like playing against Gold Paladins with your cross ride. You can easily win with Phantom Blast Overlord. That's the deck to go. I think that's my opinion. And with Overlord the end, it's so slow. So yeah, they probably just go more than you, and then they plus so much that they can always block your Overlord the end.
unless you double trigger.
Yeah, but we're not gonna if you're total sack and double crit and put it all on the Vanguard and then restand him with his effect, yeah, of course.
And
Then you
again,
win.
double crit again, and then just
Yeah. Yeah. Like I usually
get
don't
the fact
gamble,
that
I
I
usually just pressure with that card. So uh,
that's the main object of Overlord the end, so that it takes out.
yeah.
But
And
Overlord and Phantom Blast Overlord is basically a quick setup card. The reason why it was good back in the Japanese times when the cross rights came out was because it was quick to set up because with Nightmare Painter. Otherwise, and Makas because they just plus. But otherwise, um, and it's effective. You don't want to pay for it. You just rather use your three elements and do Makas or whatever else card and just use their effects. So Lemon fluffy you and Maka can help your field so that you just call out an 8 KB Maka and intercept it and put a masquerade or even a 10 KB with there and then you're set.
yeah, that's why Maka is so nice. Um, well, yeah, Phantom Blast Overlord. That's pretty much it about it. It's just, like the this card, Phantom Blast Overlord compared to Majestic Lord Blaster. Majestic Lord Blaster's a pressure card, 3 damage, get a crit win. Phantom Blast Overlord attack, no guard, no problem. So that's like the only thing. And Overlord the end attack, hit, and Persona Blast. So it's like those two are pressure cards, and Phantom Blast Overlord is pretty much just
It's a
trying to.
defensive card. It's a card that it's an end game card basically that you set up your field and then you just go for hours just hitting, and then either you deck out or your opponent decks out or you cannot guard anymore. So it's a discard deck, just like its flavor deck. That is about discard that slowly you wither down your opponent. Then meanwhile you just fluff with lemons and knockout. That's
Yeah,
the whole.
that's the whole winning image of that deck. Yeah. And while Majestic Lord Blaster is pretty much about finishing him with this extra critical or pressuring him and getting double crit and putting it on the rear guard, and when he's on 4 damage, he still needs to take one. Can't take both of them, so he has to minus himself a lot. So that's like pretty much Majestic Lord Blaster. But in a way, that's worse pressure than compared to Overlord the End. But that's my opinion. But
Yeah. But it also depends on the situation of what you are possible. So
yeah, because
everything in the game is situational. For example, if you go with Majesty or Blaster against a Tachikate deck, then chances are that you're
yeah, of course. But
because Tachikate right now is like here 1 million, million thousand.
yeah, it's like the worst deck out of all of them. Like
Uh,
even some
After that, even Rakumo is that now.
yeah, after that it's Murakumo, yeah. Even Murakumo is better than Tachikaze right now. Oh well. Well, that's pretty much
Because you can run the SB Midnight Cross,
yeah. Oh, that's
and that's
also a thing about us is if you have an SP, always write that SP. Never, never, ever let it die. Why? Because if you have SP, it seems you're richer than your opponent, so it will scare him.
and having an SB increases your luck.
Yeah, like for most of the
20%.
time, when Sonny is spraying me, he gets the SP Phantom Blessed Dragon, he always double triggers me. Before that, he gets shit. Like he never gets like all the triggers. He is always at the bottom. But when he gets his
I need
SP
to
off,
throw them,
it's game.
but also because I am running an SP Phantom Blaster and the Blaster Dart, I usually get the Blaster Javelin Light. So
So yeah,
I now have a 50% chance of getting it.
yeah. Well, that was pretty much Phantom Blaster Overlord. Tank.
No, in the end.
and plus basic simple card or
It's,
simple deck
it's
in that sense.
a
Like it's easy.
survival card.
Yeah, survival card. Next is
Just pick up your Vanguard and then you just go and tank everything. Like, oh, your armor is attacking you for 15, 10, or something.
yeah, that's why. Even if he gets a trigger, like you have to block for 5, get trigger, block for 10. Nice.
Not only that, even if you know he boosted by Team Break, even when he gets his limit break off, he's only attacking you for like 21. You can still 15 to for 2 to pass.
Yeah, that's why. Now let's go to the most overhyped card of all. Well, is it overhyped? That's the question though. Like the other two are overhyped definitely because Phantom Blast Overlord A plus, but if you don't get it off, it's meh. And Mystical Blaster -2, hitting 17 easy. So I think Phantom Blast Overlord is underhyped compared to the other two because everyone was thinking that that one was the worst out of the three. But Mystical Blaster was definitely overhyped.
And over the end,
And now Overlord the end, like I played at locals yesterday and the deck works. Well, I was grade stuck for I think I played 9 matches in total and I was grade stuck in 6 of them because I'm so good at this game. But Overlord the end, when you get it off, it's a pressure card. Weakness though is like they can rush you to 6 damage so easily. Like all the units I have, let's see, over the well at first, unless I ride bar, they can still rush me because then I have to ride either Airmo or Gojo. Um, well, my main grade 2 Vanguard, Nehalem or Burning Horn, 9k or 10k. Well, at grade 2, rushing at grade 2 is a lot easier because you can put bone boosters, so especially with the new beat sticks like the 7k, 10k, k, or like Bedivere, for example. So hitting that 10k is very easy. And then I have to ride Overlord, and then I just cross ride. So it takes a lot of time for me to put up my cross ride. Unless my opponent hand is bad, it's pretty hard for me to
get
get
it
the
off.
cross ride off. Yeah.
And
Well,
it takes a long time as well because you can soul charge it. Like
yeah,
with
you can't soul charge it. Yeah. And even then, like for you need let's say just you need a good pilot for the deck. Like you need someone who knows what they're doing and how to block their opponent's rush. Like if you don't rush against Overlord at the end, you're pretty much an idiot because you need to rush him early game and try to get because at the end he can minus you with Berserk Dragon, Tejas, Gimnara, but early game he won't do that because he wants to pressure you with that 2 open damage. So if you rush him early game, he won't try to minus you or kill your rear guards. So that's pretty much the tech, but
it's good when you know how to use it. You can win with it.
yeah, if you know how to use it, it's a good deck. It's also hard to play, and you also need to play around stuff like Gold Paladin. So it's uh, it's
But
kind of
usually Saga is one of the harder decks.
yeah, it's one of our harder
Paladins
decks to
are
master.
usually easier to use.
The
Even
easiest, yeah.
even with the Shadow Paladins, it's not a hard deck. You just have to know when you call the Maka or when you use the Nemen. Because if you use both of them on the first turn, you might get minus one at the end because you might throw something that's not good anymore, and you won't have rear guard effect or just your 8
Yeah, but Nemen is never dead. Like you can always call Nemen. There's never a bad play with Nemen. Well, unless you
Okay.
put it behind the Vanguard, but that would be idiot.
Unless it's Phantom Blast, the dragon, you can just kill it.
So yeah, it's like Nemen is never dead, but in Overlord the end it's very hard to get the effect off. Effective, I mean the cross ride off. So first you have to ride Overlord, then you have to ride the end. So if you ride it the opposite way, it still sucks. And when you do get it off, it's just pretty much the way you play the game usually is rush your opponent to 6 damage. But with that deck, you just want to pressure your opponent into minusing themselves and then finish them off because they don't want you to hit with Overlord the end because you never know when you have the card in hand. For example, I drive check one and I hit Personal Blast. I use ammo skill and I hit, drop one card, over the end, Personal Blast. Draw trigger, get the card, Personal Blast. So there's a lot of ways for me to get the card, and that's why I never want the card to hit.
Yeah,
better,
but
and
with
better, even more better, you can hit anything. So I can even hit your Nemen, or Maka, or Nemean Lion, for example.
but of course, but against the rush, maybe the new booster that's coming out, the extra booster one, comic style, the first extra booster that we are getting, because somehow we got the reverse order that the Japanese people got in the extra boosters. So basically, there we get a card called Striker. It's a 10k card that it's like a pseudo break right. Basically, you just write it as break two. You can't attack with it, but when your opponent attacks without your card without a boost, it becomes 15k.
Yeah, so
And then
it's anti-rush.
and when you write something over it, that new card gets plus 5k and an extra critical. So
Yeah,
like that.
it's a good card,
That's
but
the rush.
it's still like, well, we'll talk about the limit breaks after this, but against things that has a booster, let's say Pelennor Golds with their 5k boost, with their Bowmains, yeah, you still need to block. So, or not, or just take
It's
it.
gonna
I would
take
take it, but it's still
yeah,
annoying. So that's why. But they can't rush you. That's the nice thing about that. So if someone tries to rush you to 4 damage before red grade 3, screw them because they can't.
yeah. Only if they don't have the rear guard, if they just put a focus down with 6 cards, and
Yeah.
then they can still rush you. Yeah,
Yeah, but you
with
would never pull down a full
spectral
field.
do with spectral do. It's
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah.
but that
So,
spectral do.
so Overlord the end, in a few sayings like just it's a pressure card. You need a good pilot for it, and it takes very long to set up. But when it does go off, it's one of the best possible cards right now. I think next to I think one of the best cards right now is I think is Garmor, Great Civil War of Garmor, because that card is stupid.
It's a
But
god with did rate.
yeah,
That's the best combination right now with this team.
and
Like telling
that's also why we're comparing the crossfires right now against with the limit breaks, because all the decks, if all the limit break decks, especially Gold Paladins, are a lot quicker than the older decks when they were back when only set 5 came out. Let's say, let's compare Overlord the End against Pelennor Worlds. Okay, I start with I start with the Overlord the End because he's OP and he dice rolled a 6 and he won it. So he writes his bar. Opponent, write his Gareth. Swing. Okay, no problem. Next, I write Menehalam. Swing. Okay. And maybe call an Ermo with Comnos effect to get all the effects. Now, next turn, he will write his Bowmains. Now, what happened here? Now, he wrote his Bowmains. He can not only can he get Pelennor off the spear right if he gets it with Spring Breeze, he also has no trouble calling a rearguard there. Because he doesn't need to survive till the cross ride or something. So he can just call Lexa Vivian and the booster. So he attacks, gets spear right off, you block his Pelennor, and attacks Vivian. That's probably without the critical 3 damage. If you got the crit, you're at 4. So what's the difference? He wrote bar first, right? Then so he can't attack, then he wrote the Nihalem, and then he gets rushed to 3 or 4 damage. And then he still needs to write Overlord. That's kind of painful if you think about that way. And then he still needs to write Overlord, and then he still needs to survive to the next turn to cross ride.
yeah, yeah. The ring breaker were created to build the cross right, but they were popular. But every tank has a chance against the other. It only depends on your luck that is but talking with equaling skills from yours, of course. But it's luck decides what you have, maybe. But it's a definite that with the Overlord deck, they are probably not going to rush. While anything else can pretty much rush. Like the Gold Paladins can rush, even Pike Brothers can rush, especially because it's their whole game mechanic. They can just rush you. Most of the clans nowadays that got boosts from BT 06 to 09. can rush the old cards. So, yeah, that's how card games go. That the old cards become too old ones.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons. Like, Gold Paladins isn't like it isn't overpowered, like a lot of people say, but it's one easy to play, and two you get field advantage. So you can rush early game, or you can just wait. You can have so many different play styles. Unless compared
Yeah,
with Duke, for example, if Duke goes against, let's say, Overlord the end because it's so overpowered, so he rides his bar again because he starts first, or let's say he starts second, even worse. He starts second. Opponent gets to ride you enough because he's so good at the game and he's a total sack. And well, of course, he gets a ride you enough. Opponent, okay, I ride bar, attack, swing, get crit maybe, get 2 damage. What does he do? He rides his grade 2. Not only is it 10k, he gets two free rear guards. Let's say he gets some decent ones, or at least one bad one. That's a draw, and maybe Bowmains, for example, or Gigantic Destroyer. Oh, that's 2 more damage for him. Get a crit, 3. Okay. Now he rides his Nehalem, and he needs to have his hand advantage. Maybe get the Barry out of the Conroe, and then he swings again. So every time Duke gets his effect off, or at least like he kill
right.
stuff and get the right chain off, he still he gets like early game advantage. Because if you count the pluses you make, like you get a +1 from the first one if you get it from the top 7, then a +1 again because you kill one, get one thing, get two, and another time you kill one and get two, so it's a +3 in total. And if you compare that with like Pelennor Gold, it's also +3, so because you ride Spring Breeze +1, then at the end Garmor, Din Rain, one rearguard extra, and another card free. So +2, +3 in total. So if you compare the decks like that, that's why Garmor is always the backup Vanguard for all the Gold Paladins builds.
It is the most stable card out of all of them.
Yeah, it's even better than Alfred.
Yeah, it would be an even better card if it would be an X ability, not an auto one. But
If
yeah,
it was an act ability, that card would have been so overpowered.
yeah. But Alfred, Garma was made to be like Alfred because Blonde Hazel didn't really go well. For Blonde Hazel was far too and for
Yeah, for Blonde
counter.
Hazel, if I play Blonde Hazel, I usually get 2 triggers, or 1 trigger and a decent unit.
Yeah, so we are not Aichi, that's the problem.
Yeah, like if you're called Aichi Sendo, you will always pull off like for a gigantic destroyer and the Gareth, or
Well,
something like
but that's what you need at that moment.
yeah.
You need a din drain, okay, you get the din drain.
I think that was the one with against Corin. He top decks a Din Rain, he Soul Blast, and draws a Bowmains. Oh my god, that was like the worst sack out of all of them.
Or he even pulled the Pelennor rider.
Yeah, and during the same match. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the other limit drakes aren't as good. Like the reason why Gold Balance overplays is because it's obviously easier to play, and like
and
reverse
three,
pluses
three plus.
are harder to play. Like Vermilion is a +2, but they're like reverse, like day minus, so you plus. It's a lot harder. Like if I plus myself, if I draw cards, it's a lot easier for me to manage my hand. But if they minus, I don't know what they have in their hand. For example, I kill 2 Silent Toms, they might have one more and something better maybe, like Souffle in front of their Gemini. So that's why it's annoying to have reverse pluses, like Terry minus U plus. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I guess we have that issue. Oh, like that again. With Kyber Remain is pretty much that good until he cross right and comes up and even he cross right. Man, like that.
Yeah, it's so overhyped. It's good. Like if you're playing against a new player who doesn't rush, it's so easy to win with that crossroad. But yeah, if your opponent knows what he's doing most of the time, unless their hand is bad, if let's say their hand is bad, then it'll be 1, 2, and 3 in their hand, so and 2 triggers, then obviously you will get it off. And most of the times, it isn't as good as people say it to be.
But the other limit break, for example, Dark Irregulars, he is good to charge up the soul then. Dark Lord of the Abyss, but ultimately, if you don't try uh, aim on over it, then basically that's game over for you. Uh,
Yeah,
you can't even use a counter vest from that point on, and you don't have anything. Angel Feather,
it's
it
decent. Like
cannot,
you
it's
can
okay,
hit
it can
cross
hit
rights.
the cross right, but still,
Yeah,
gold but just much
that's
better.
also a thing, by the way, that all the decks that can hit cross rights properly are bad against non-cross right decks. Same with Majestic Blaster, it can hit the cross right so easily, but it's bad against Gold Paladins. Because they plus like mad, and they block for 15 every time, or they block perfect guard you. So Gold Paladins in general is pretty good, but all the decks that can hit cross rights are better. Like if they get their cross right off, Gold Paladins are worse than, because let's say he plays Phantom Blast Overlord, they play pluses as you, plus as much as you. He rides it earlier, and you're screwed. So that's why I think Phantom Blast Overlord is better against the limit break decks.
Yeah, because he's basically just pump myself up and then wait for the opponent to tire me about it.
Yeah. Uh,
But for the end, it's still better pressure.
yeah, the end's pretty much pressure.
It,
Um,
it really depends on the player to play with it. So how the kids set up. So if somebody goes great, that's also going to lose. It all depends on luck and also on your own skills and what you do with the cards that you actually have.
yeah, obviously take, let's say I can't block Majestic Blaster, I'm at 2 damage, he double crits me for game. Yeah, things can happen.
Things can happen, but as long as you have fun with
Yeah, that's
everything,
about this game. We have a lot of fun, and the reason we compare the meta is pretty much because everyone, especially in America, is bandwagoning the cross rights. There's like a tourney tomorrow here, and I live in Holland, in Europe, and there's, out of the 17 players, there are only 7 or 8 cross rights. So it's like 50%. So I guess over here they already know about the rush tactic, and
or maybe just people don't have that much money to drop on.
yeah, but not only that, like a lot of people here buy a lot of boxes, and most of the cross right decks are half complete anyway. So it's like, yeah, it's meh.
And then, well, of course, if you already completed your normal beat down deck or whatever,
Yeah, not only
like,
that, you can just not
why
play.
won't you use it? And so they will use it, and even if they don't know about the rush deck, if they play on, they will realize then after then, oh yeah, I can rush them all the time. It's so rare. Just like just rush them all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So yeah, especially Overlord the end, the most overhyped one out of all of them. Yeah. Well,
The bandwagoning by that we mean that people not don't all play the cards because they only play Overlord the end because it's overhyped. But the reason is one mainly is because it's a good card. It doesn't get a only it's a really good card, but the reason why it's won a lot. And was because many people played it. Once they invested in the Overlord deck, they were like, man, this card has the best ability ever, best pressure ability. Why should I go to something else that might not have that good pressure ability? That's why people didn't play gold and other living breaks. That's why the ban was issued. Otherwise, they are not really that horrible. As long as you can manage your cards properly, you can survive the cross size or the living break or whatever it is. You just have to play cleverly more at the beginning or at the end, however you do it. But against Manchester United, we recently guarding early and guarding him, and he's like, okay, you're at 4 damage, I double fix you.
yeah, guarding early is still one big problem. We'll do something about. We'll talk about that another time, but about how to play the game properly, because some people like to
Our
take their,
opinion, of course. Some
yeah,
people rush themselves to 5 damage, and from that point, it's a struggle.
yeah, 5 damage when you ride grade 3 is not that nice of a position to be.
Especially
But
when the opponent is at like 2, and they're like, oh,
yeah, like, let's say he has like full field, and you have like 5 damage. You only have one unit on the field. Well, nice. But that's pretty much about the cross rights and limit breaks, like the bandwagoning. I think it's because of the Japanese meta that Overlord the End is so popular right now. It is a good card, but it isn't as good as people say it to be. That's like the main thing.
Yeah, because Vanguard right now, there are good cards. But in their own deck, every card is a good card. Other than, let's say, that card because you just kill yourself with it.
Yeah, cards that give you minuses like the Tachikaze ones. And doesn't give you any advantage for it. That doesn't make any sense.
Usually all the decks, when you run them, pure decks, of course, they are good with themselves, usually.
Yeah.
So there are good cards, there are card effects that are better than the other. But mainly as long as you run the deck properly, all cards can be as deadly as the other one.
Yeah, that's also why Neo Nectar is the underdog right now. Everyone is thinking it's the bad bills out of the set, but it's the only clan that can hit Crossfight so easily directly out of the box. Like you just put the cheapest cards in there, like 4 Maiden Trading Roads, 4 Glassy Beat, 4 Shields, just some random rares, and you can hit Crossfights all day long.
Yeah, of course, like that. That's a fun deck too, but mainly it's the whole reason for Neo Nectar right now. It's a fun deck, and when the Musketeers come out, that's like the first real archetype that the Japanese introduce now. So those cards are fun too.
Yeah. So it's a nice deck. Well, that's pretty much about the meta comparison. Yeah.
In the meta that we have in the English, and while in the Japanese one, that's currently changing now because of the break price.
Yeah, that's
But,
true.
but we don't know how much it will change because it's
Yeah,
really
because I haven't really seen much videos or topping lists of locals, but oh, like Japanese they keep everything for themselves anyway, but we don't really see much. Like we know the effects, we know how to play the decks, but we don't really see how well they perform right now. Unless you
especially
can read Japanese, but I can't read Japanese, so yeah.
especially right now because until the big cray all-out war when everything is unbanned, you can use Bargold, you can use Overlord and everything. They won't. It, you won't. We won't really find out how well the new cards are doing.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing though about the new Japanese meta. Offred is stupid. Cancel as well.
They are right now. The other cards we don't know anything about the 11. The rest of the cards in the deck in the set. Ashley is underpowered. Salome has a nice break right if you pull it off with, let's say, X-Call Page the Blaster that's coming out next month. Or no, this month, at the end of this month. And for example, you pull it off basically with anything. And Perfect Shield Reprint, that's a nice addition. But other than that, the Royals are kind of underpowered. Right?
Yeah,
The Genesis, the
I
new
think the
X,
ranking is pretty much Golds, Narukami, Royals, Genesis. Genesis, well then Nova Grapplers because those are no, Nova Grapplers are really good, but as a own in their set they're bad. Like you need the other cards, the other support in order for it to work. That's the thing.
and because most of the other countries just to get some stuff. Because for the Nova Grapplers, you need to buy set 9 in order to get the top right, which can be used properly if you have like, and then you have to combine these to the and other cards as well in order to make the deck proper. But that's one using cards from all the 10 sets that are out right now in Japanese one. While the gold, you can just pretty much play by pulling everything from the trial deck and from the B10 and just win because against a lot and the offense combination. So bad.
Yeah, you can even do like in the anime, just write Gauntlet over Gauntlet over Gauntlet.
And you basically get the opponent. I can.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a perfect guard, it's pretty much a good game.
Yeah, but the other one right now, don't let guy that they showed off the Kagero break guy that's not you can use it at the end, but for anything else, it's also going to work because it's basically just for the end file to use something else. So it's like that in the end, then that it gets blocked. But other than that, it's not really sure. While the Aquaforce one, so far what we know about it, is going to be pretty good. It's with a glory melt. Even if you get first, when you ride over it, glory melt can get plus 10, okay? and the opponent has to throw out one card in order to be able to guard. Otherwise, the Glory Maelstrom gets a double crit and also its random power up with 5,000, so it's like 26,000. Uh, and you can perfect shield it plus the boost, so it can hit for 34 without any problem. And you can do the perfect shield because of Glory Maelstrom ultimate. Great.
So obviously it's like good game. You ride that
Yeah.
card, opponent 5 damage, you just shake the hands immediately. You don't even wait for heal triggers. So
And another stupid combination is if you get for Platina Hazel, you cancel a lot.
oh,
But,
that's the most stupid combination. 5 damage. Like your opponent thinks you're dying, and he's like, let's say 4, and you ride that Latin Azel over Ganslot, give everything 5k, give 3 stuff 5k, and also get the 10k bonus.
just like that is like GG at that point, unless the opponent has three perfect cards.
Well, he
And
can
at
if
that
he
point,
has if he has 2, like let's say he's at 4 damage, then he can still
yeah,
survive. 5 damage, he needs 3 perfect cards.
yeah. So it depends. But Platina Hazel and Gensler combination, 40k plus the 10k for the Vanguard, that's 50k plus for the whole field. Every single attack is for 30 plus. It's like, oh, screw this.
Yeah, you might as well
Or
screw.
even you can even put the disciple pain in it and then just push the opponent and the score. Like, oh yeah, I can disciple pain, you goodbye, whatever.
Yeah, I'm totally buying 4 trial decks and 3 Platina Azel.
Yeah. Or
And
maybe yeah,
just put my
and then
perfect cards in it and just made it just play. That's my most
and
stupid combination.
and run with Blaster Blade Liberator just for the lol. Not
Yeah.
that good of
It's
a
not that
card.
great of a card. Like the old Blaster Blade, retire everything possible. Oh, you can choose everything possible. So let's say he has Wingle Brave, retire that. He has Conroe, retire that. He has
And he ride
10k
it, yes.
booster, retire that. You can retire everything. So that was awesome. But right now, like his call effect is pretty much the same. It's better than the old one, but his ride effect, they dumped it down. That was bad. They shouldn't have.
Not only that, I think that even his rear guard effect is not good. You know, you can just kill a great one in the front row often.
Yeah, but it's the
Other
same with the old one. Like you can only kill grade 2 or higher. So
yeah, but with that, you could kill the bezel if you send back the jackpot.
yeah, but it's still pretty much the same, I guess.
Yeah, in rear guard they are both the same, but
The
the
same. And
Vanguard is
Rigard,
strong.
I don't like the Rigard. I really like the Vanguard effect because you can
Yes,
always
Van-
pressure them. You get a
the
crit,
Vanguard.
you screw you. I can retire something from you. That's the annoying thing about that deck. Oh, that card.
Yeah, that's it. That's why the new one is good. Ever. Just don't ride it because it's 9k. You just go to rear guard and you have to
I would
put
ride it because the starter, if you hit with the starter, you can pull it out of the soul.
yeah, but it depends on the hand. But with Bingo Brave, it depends on if people that you hit with it.
Ringal
But
Liberator.
if you just cancel it and ultimate Azo, you can you can
Yeah,
even get the
yeah.
just say
So
that.
just buy 4 trial decks for Platinum Azel, combine it with for 4 trial decks for Ganslot, so you can combine it with Platinum Azel, and that's your whole deck.
And you don't even need anything
Oh,
else.
and,
You
and
should
run,
just
obviously run all 10k beat sticks.
yeah, and just put like a few disciple of paint in it and just go ahead and
Yeah,
kill everything.
yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, that's pretty much about the Japanese set. Other thing is, you don't have that many dead pools. Like the set 10 is the first set that doesn't have. Oh, it has a few bad pools, but like the worst pool you could get is Blaster Blade Liberator SP, which is like pretty stupid.
It's like okay, I had four of these, but when I bought four trial decks,
Yeah, it
so
doesn't
yeah.
have an alternate art. If it did, it would have been awesome. Like I would totally buy it just for the art. But
Like the original because it had a nice open card. Although I personally like the triple R version more than the setting. For overload as well, because when they are just standing around, and they are, yeah, standing around, they are just totally random.
Yeah. Uh, but the whole set, like all the trip powers, pretty much everyone needs at least one of them. So I'll probably be buying a lot of boxes.
I personally am waiting until they reveal BT11 because I am really interested in the Steel Dragon mechanic. And if they actually ban Overlord the end in our meta as well, then yeah, then I will just buy the Dauntless Dragons as well and then just run the cheapest version of Overlord at the end at that point. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they will make the same ban list because only gold paladins are very popular over here.
yeah, it depends, but even Bargo, they banned Bargo even though we had limit breaker. Bargo wasn't that
Yeah.
problem.
But the thing about Barcos is like the stupid thing is like you set up Soul Saver by turn 3. Like you can ride grade 3, you can already use Soul Saver.
Yeah, you can, but even though it will be amazing. Because
Yeah,
Royal,
because just right now
not
you
that
have to minus in order to use Soul Saver unless you're running it with Majesty Lord Blaster, but that is stupid because you want to guard for AC with the 12k. Even though we said that 70k is easy to hit, but if you kill their rear guard, for example, it's still hard to hit.
although right now Bargo's ban is justified because of exculpate. Because exculpate with Bargo is broken. You
Yeah,
can keep Blaster Blade in the store and also like 4 cards extra. So immediately you can just and especially if you combine it with the break right. Exculpate protect for 40 everywhere. You're not
screw
going to
that.
guard. You can barely even guard the Vanguard if you don't have it. If he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, it's a -5, and then well, the thing is, if he doesn't ride grade 3, he's screwed.
Yeah, because if you only get exculpate in the hand, then you're
Oh, but I
as
did.
good as
Oh, by the
Vanguard.
way, I also noticed something. You can only pull out the Royal Paladins out of the soul. So Blessed
Yeah,
Dark stays in the
that's
soul.
what he's
So
saying.
if you rewrite a Majestic Bless, it's still 12k. So it's nice. That's
Uh,
nice.
that's like that part is nice. And basically, if you combine the matches, Blaster, you can really pressure the opponent. Although the other card that came out in the Japanese meta, the Blaster Blade Burst, just forget about that card.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Let's just not talk about that.
Yeah, it's like offered, it cannot be boosted. It's 10k, attack for 10k, and it just flip over 2 cards, like, counter black 2, and then you get the power of the 2 from 4 cards. So basically, you have 10k, it can attack for 30 for 2 turns. After that, you run out of counter black, and basically that's game. It's a manga exclusive card right now, which came with the extra manga chapter, and it's a graphic card. It's really bad. It was made to replace Alfred, but when the Duo Knights came out, United was a lot better than the
Yeah, Jewel Knights are bad. I mean, they're not as good as Golds. They should have made Salome 11k, then I would totally think it was one of the better decks out there. But right now it's 10k. So have fun getting all the 12k and 8k combinations at your
Yeah,
kind.
especially even the break lights can hit for 13.
Yeah, so it's not that it's meh. Just doesn't isn't as good as the other ones. I will make the deck just for the art, but besides that, it isn't as good as I hoped it to be.
I will only make the deck if I'm buying the film, but if I am going to wait for Kagaru, and of course I'm going to wait for the Shadows, because after the spoiled art for the new Black Dog, I want to run them, especially because I'm a huge fan of the original Shadow deck itself. I like I like PBO, I like the whole thing. That's why I even pick up a PBO for that program.
Yeah.
Because even that one can work if you know how to use it, if you rush, if you get with cards, you can rush your opponent even if they are soft, right?
Yep. Well, that's the thing
Especially
about
because
Russian.
taking the masquerade, if you don't like PBO for some reason, you like the original one more because it's just counter that and use the beta card and other cards to refill your deck. You can still just take in the masquerade and you can do the masquerade. and you
Yeah,
can just put in the nightmare phases as well, so that you can control charges after that target, and that's also your even that and you can attack. Also be prepared if you are against the cross right, they can hit 21, so you have to run for 20 for 2 to get that.
yep.
Again, if I just go back to the be pretty well as you get toy to behind him.
Yeah, but getting
And
Toy Pogo behind him is hard. Like, not only does he need Toy Pogo, he also needs a great 3 rear guard. So,
yeah, yeah, but even he can do 21. So an 11K Vanguard is what I do for this week, unless you are certain that you can rush them.
yeah, that's
Like
right. That's why you just rush against cross rides. That's pretty much it.
you basically throw down everything. Like you have 3 blaster
You
darts.
want, like, they don't get pluses until they cross ride, except for Shadows. So Shadows is the best deck against non-cross rides. So kill them quick before they get all their stupid effects. And also try to get the perfect shield in your hand. Because against Magician Lord Blaster, no perfect guards. Have fun getting that double crit on your.
Yeah. So I guess we are done comparing the meta.
Yeah, just about the new English shit, but I don't really want to talk about that because the only card I want is Escopade, and that's it
And
for
also
homecoming
maybe the
style.
strike, maybe
Oh
the
yeah,
strike.
Strike and the on Flipper is pretty nice as well.
Yeah, but you already are. You don't have much faith in the deck if you're running Tables or stuff.
Yeah, I'm running
You,
Tejas instead of Berserk, but that's my choice.
and you don't really need Long Sweeper unless you run further because like that, if you run a lot of Salamanders, you can just use those and pressure you for
Yeah,
them.
I tested Salamanders and Chimnaras. I don't like Salamanders because
They
they
have to
only
get
work because before they have 5 damage. So if they have 4 or 5 damage, good, nice try getting them off.
yeah, but I don't think that you need the Long Sweeper because it's the same as the first land, so they can hit. So,
Yeah, some people run 4 on flippers. So instead of Nihalam, so you write it, attack and hit, because probably you're getting using Conrad's effect, and you unflip for Conrad's effect. So it's nice, but
yeah,
yeah, I
but
don't know. I
I'd
would
rather
run. I rather run Striken, yeah.
I would rather just hit the opponent or not minus one. Usually, as I stated in my video as well, when I usually got the first answer of my yield immediately afterwards. So it was like, come on, no. I usually when I hit with curse lancer once every blue moon because everybody just blocks it because they cannot be conflict any damage. And you get it off, you're like, yeah, I finally did it. Like 10 matches from 10, 30 matches. Finally, I got it off once. And then it's here.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, everyone is waiting for the Kagura cards and Escalade from the set, not even looking at the others.
Because everybody, because if this booster that extra booster came out earlier, people might have actually used it. But
Yeah,
now that
like they're nice additions for a deck, but they're compared to the cards out right now from
yeah,
set 6 to 8 to set 6 to 7 and from set 1 to 5, they're not as, yeah, they just don't, not as good as the other ones.
they, they are not up to par right now. If they would have come out after BT03 here, when Dark Regulars were introduced, then they would have probably been used. But now nobody needs them because even from extra booster 3, um, um, the Mega Colony got better cards than the Mesh Shining or Mesh Chimney or something in pop cards in that sense. Because the limit breaker is just that much better, especially because it's 11K. Also, the pale moons have better with the limit breaker than the ones that come with it. And the Oracle Think Tank, other than just for
All
collection,
the other
also,
cards are better than that one, unless you want to use Imperial Daughter, send Lulu back to Sol, then Red Coco again. But that is like one pointless combo. Because you're minusing yourself on card, then you ride one, so you -2, then you +2. So +3, I guess. So.
Comics Daughter had an OP effect.
Promise Daughter is really good. Like, it is, you can drop a card, get 5k. It's a 9k, so let's say I'm boosting it with something stupid like I don't know, Lala, hit for 16. My opponent is 11k Vanguard, drop one card, 21. Well, what's the difference there is because I plus a lot and he probably don't. So for me dropping a card, for him to minus is a lot better for me than for him. That's what you want to do with that card.
Yeah, but still the ones that are out right now is Supreme on them, and the soul SOTP is walking right now, so why would you want that other than occasionally just stop?
Yeah, I think the most popular build right now for OTT in the our meta is Solus.
Soul as because it's rushy,
Yeah, it's a lot easier to pull
easier to
off. Like,
play.
yeah, the reason I ran Tsukiyomi right now is because of the cross rights. Like, if they hit for 20 every time, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Because with
because
Solos, the thing what I would do is Red Coco, get all the cards for no apparent reason. You get to draw three cards and then get a free starter, and you get 3k power, so it's really good. And then draw the cards, get shitloads of Tom in your hand, call all the Toms, hit your opponent, and he dies.
and just
That's
but
how I would do it. I did it against you as well. So it's like that's the only combo I pretty much use with that deck.
yeah, I know because we were killing each other with dragons and with so sometimes sometimes my dragon cooked your Tom, sometimes it was the other way around.
Usually it was the other way around with OTT. Not
With
with my
that,
mermaids anymore though. My mermaids always lose, but right now.
but right now with Tsukiyomi, that's the only one that we can
Yeah,
use
I would
it.
totally run Tsukiyomi over Coco. I mean, Coco is
Right now because of the cross-sidedness of the popularity, but later on when everybody will realize that the cross are not that OP, and people will start using other cards again, then you can use Coco, no problem.
yeah, that's why. Think I will talk about the championship and stuff later on, and we'll wrap this thing up because it's already like a few hours. I think 1 hour 30 minutes. So yeah, pretty much with this channel, what we're gonna do is do some deck profiles, discussions. I'll probably get some gameplay matches
Okay,
online, and we're gonna do some commentary on it. Really depending if you want some, like, I don't know if you guys want some serious comments on the match, or just us talking about random stuff. So we'll see about
other than
that.
that, just low comments like, "Oh yeah, he wrote the SP, he's going to win," those kinds of things. You do those a lot as well. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
cause
you got the SP, now I lost." No, so yeah,
yeah,
you can.
that's what we want to do with the channel. So well, yeah, we'll pretty much put up more videos during the week, and hope you guys like our channel, and be sure to subscribe if you do like our channel. So that's it. If you have more comments, Sonny, you can say.
I don't see anything to say. So thanks for listening, and see you later, I guess.